Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's definitely not Henry Cavill. And is Lara Croft going about taking selfies? Did Serena Williams just have her "you cannot be serious" moment? Spider-Man for the PS4, how good is it? Terry Butcher, former England player for Batman. And who is the deployer? All on this week's What About It? Hello, you're listening to What About It, the podcast where we look at what's been happening in the world of movies, TV shows, video games, comic books, and ask, what about it? I'm Gav, joined by
Austin
and
Rob.
And let's just get in it.
Let's do it.
So,
what about it?
What about it this week?
The deployer.
Yeah, so let's kick it off with the news then. What's been happening in the world of news? I mean, I know what I want to talk about news-wise. There's only one thing I want to talk about.
Alright. Always?
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you want to talk about? If you want to go first.
It's a Spider-Man. I think we have to talk about Spider-Man, don't we? Massive.
We'll put it off Spider-Man.
I mean, massive news in that it's been launched.
I know how keen you are to talk about Spider-Man, the video game. You've played it. We'll talk about it in a minute.
I think the official title is Marvel's Spider-Man, PlayStation 4 exclusive on PlayStation 4.
And you can give it a WI rating out of 17.
Out of 7,000 Spider-Mans. How high do I rate this movie? It's very
Robert, have
specific.
you got any news that you wanted to bring before I ramble about mine?
Okay. Probably the best thing I've seen in terms of video game news. All these video games that they're now having selfie modes, including Spider-Man.
Love a photo mode.
The new Lara Croft has a Instagram selfie kind of mode, and the best thing is you can change her reaction to different like facial expressions, like after you taking the picture.
That's like they did that.
I've seen the one with her smiling. Yeah,
they did that in God of War, and I've never thought something was so out of place but so perfect at the same time, like having Kratos tongue out smile. I was like, this is dumb, but I love it.
And of course we're going to have that in the Fallout games as well.
Oh yeah, of course, because apparently a photo mode is essential for a good video game now.
Apparently. But yeah,
I was just saying it's worth a Google to try and see how hilarious some of these photos that are circling Twitter and all that kind of stuff.
Because when she's got a serious face, some of them are like serious stills. And then you put this big smile on them, and it's what was it? The caption I saw was the smile mode or the selfie mode makes Lara Croft look like she's gone from an action adventure hero to someone on a gap year.
Yeah, and she's close enough to that anyway.
Yeah,
if you take away all the murder, she's just having a real good time.
Yeah,
learning about herself.
It's definitely fun. It's almost like Indiana Jones has got a big massive ball rolling after him in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and that's the right film, yeah. And
Indiana Jones had the ball rolling after him. The Empire Strikes Back,
and she is not impressed at all. Well, this is pretty miffed. It's brilliant.
Gosh darn it!
And you can put whatever filters you want. But yeah, that's my news. That's worth a wee Google.
So is the new Lara Croft game called Lara Croft: Rise of the Instagram?
I think so. How do you get those Facebook likes?
Tomb Raider, do it for the gram. That's the one. I'd play that game.
So the news story which I wanted to discuss is of course Henry Cavill.
Oh, Henrietta Cavill.
Not one. I mean, it's Warner Brothers and Henry Cavill have both been very cryptic in their social media posts since, but it does look like he's walked away from the role.
Yeah,
of Superman.
It's the weirdest thing. Have you seen this,
yeah,
Robert?
And have you seen the post he put on Instagram?
No.
It's like him.
Bizarre.
There's this weird music.
It's like
he's got a dog barking, and then he lifts up a Superman action figure in slow motion, and then puts it back down.
Are his eyes closed the whole time?
It makes no
and he's
sense.
Wearing
and the caption is, "Today was a weird day."
No, it's an exciting day. Is it not?
No. I've got it here.
This is the guy who's now going to be
Geralt. Yeah, The Witcher.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
The deployer.
Geralt the deployer. Deployer 3, The Wild Hunt.
Yeah. For context, we keep going about the deployer. It's our pizza delivery driver is called the deployer.
Yeah. And I mean, this may all get edited out. But hey, his name's Robert too.
I know.
So we've seen him in 3 films. He was in, of course, Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
Austin, you were saying you'd watched that back recently.
Yeah.
Quick thoughts on that, just sort of after seeing it.
It doesn't hold up well.
Right.
It looks like an older movie. There's some really cool bits in it, but again, I think just like we kind of spoke about this before, but the last 15 minutes is a mess.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, I'm like, this is kind of fine. I've got my issues with like
he is. I believe he is what Superman should be in the modern day.
I think he's like a kind of a perfect casting choice for it for this generation.
And the way that a lot of issues with Zack Snyder's directing and stuff, but in terms of that film, I think he got a lot of it right until the end, like you say.
And I think a lot of that comes down to, like you mentioned it, like the directing, and the general movie as a whole, not just Henry Cavill.
And then we had Martha the movie.
Martha versus Martha.
Yeah.
That's my mum's name.
A train wreck.
Wait a minute, what? That's my dad's name.
And then Justice League, which you could just tell was two people's movies. It was half of it was still the Zack Snyder cut, and half of it was Joss Whedon's try to make it funny cut, and it didn't work. It didn't blend.
It was Joss Whedon's Justice League Assemble.
Yeah.
Did you read the thing about Unite the Seven?
No.
And in it, like, so apparently in Zack Snyder's cut, and this might be total nonsense, so don't take this for gospel. In Zack Snyder's cut, apparently they were going to introduce Green Lantern again. But now they're saying Unite the Seven refers to Aquaman uniting the 7 kingdoms of Atlantis. And I'm like,
bullshit.
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 Like, you are covering up something massive now.
Yeah.
But they hinted at
Green Lantern in the Justice League.
Yeah, they showed
some of the old lanterns,
and they're saying, like, so obviously the lanterns exist in this universe, and I'm like, there's a cut somewhere where like Ryan Reynolds reappears as Hal Jordan, and they're like, we're doing this again.
No,
get ready. I thought Green Lantern was fine. I thought it was a great
there
movie.
was rumours that he was meant to be appearing with a cameo in Shazam, but that got cancelled due to scheduling conflicts. And then the studio came out. You're right. Today was exciting. I apologise.
So weird though.
I held up my hands there. I was wrong. Humble pie. Yum yum yum. And then Warner Bros. Came out with, while no decision has been made regarding any upcoming Superman films, we've always had great respect and a great relationship with Henry Cavill, and that remains unchanged. What a bullshit politician's answer. Tell folk what's happening.
It's not answering anything.
I know.
Just saying
and the annoying thing
words.
is, this story's moving so fast. By the time we get this out, people will know more whilst listening to it. But it's just...
You tell us what's this news.
And his agent, or one of his managers anyway, has came out and said, be peaceful, the cape is still in the closet. Warner Brother has and continues to be our partners, and they evolve the DC universe. What does that even mean?
I don't even
know. It's
know.
just so cryptic.
It's a mess.
It sounds like there's been some kind of dispute going on, and
it's probably with money.
Aye. There's rumours that there's a dispute about whether he should appear in a Supergirl movie or not.
Alright.
And it's like, but the TV show's doing so well, why do you need a movie?
Yeah, don't do the same thing with The Flash,
Yeah.
People are already so split on that because of the casting and the fact that the show is doing so good, but they're like, yeah, but we're going to do our own one. People are like, we don't want to see that one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 3 films he's done now, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's kind of okay in his mind. It may be I've done my trilogy. I've done what I need to do. I'll walk away from it and do a different role. Maybe.
And that's why you get your actors, if you're building an extended universe like that, to sign up to 7 films.
Yeah, or
that's the reason that what's his name? Oh, I can't remember the guy's name. Anyway, the guy isn't Doctor Strange. The guy that's going to play the Joker in the
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, he wouldn't commit to a 7-film contract. Benedict Cumberbatch would. So
because Benedict Cumberbatch likes to make that money.
And then they came out and they're like, oh, we originally were going to go for Benedict, but then scheduling, so we came back to him and we moved things about from no, you went for Joaquin Phoenix or whatever he's called, and you never gone. Anyway, we're going off topic, so let's move on to Idiot of the Week.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser! Good. More for me and you.
Oh my. Idiots this week. Do you want me to start off?
Yeah, go for it.
So I think for mine, in the world comes the world of sport.
Yes.
The world of tennis.
I know where you're going with this 100%.
Serena Williams. My days. She's a fantastic sports person, has achieved an incredible amount, is, for the most part, a consummate athlete. Someone that, boys and girls look up to, and quite rightly so, because she's a powerhouse. She's playing Naomi, I think it's Naomi Osaka was her name? A 20-year-old Japanese tennis player who was incredible and was quite comfortably beating her. Serena Williams 2 times kind of lost her head, made some comments to the umpire, And then the third time she got her kind of, code of conduct warning, lost a game because of that. She lost enough points that she lost a game. Ended up losing the match completely. And I think props to Naomi Osaka because she was incredible. But the way Serena Williams behaved was just deplorable. Like, she smashed her racket off the ground, like verbally assaulted this incredibly experienced umpire. It just made such an uncomfortable match to watch.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at it going, this girl, Osaka, is amazing, but I can't quite take my eyes off the car crash that is, at this point in time, Serena Williams. It was insane.
Another car crash that was kind of similar to that, which I always thought was funny, or not funny, because
Car crashes aren't funny.
Guy got hurt, but was I think it's Kyrgios. I'm sure it was Kyrgios, and is it a Greek player or maybe a different Greek player? So I apologise for getting them mixed up. But he had quite a temper, and he was annoyed at something, and he just hit the ball aimlessly. And it flew and it hit the umpire in the eye. The umpire needed surgery on his eye.
Oh my god!
No.
That is absolutely something.
He got disqualified there and
Nick
then.
Kyrgios is the same boy that hugged a ball boy. Yeah, Nick Kyrgios is hilarious. I mean, he needs to learn how to play tennis, but he's hilarious.
There is another Greek boy that's also got a temper.
Well,
so
Nick Kyrgios is
I might
Australian.
be getting him. Oh, that it's not him then.
It won't be him.
No, it's a very Greek sounding name.
Yes. But yeah, Serena Williams is mad at the week.
I'm not gonna lie. I forgot to get one organised, but I'm gonna do a quick one on the spin. Right, just sort of jumping on, piggybacking on yours.
All right.
My idiots of the week are the crowd that then when the Japanese girl won her first ever Grand Slam title, the first ever Japanese person to win, they started booing.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Because they're Serena Williams.
It's the US Open, man. Serena's been cheating.
That was what advertised. It was Serena's
Didn't win her 30,000th
Yeah,
Grand
like,
Slam.
she's
got plenty.
Serena Williams is a mum. She needs the money.
But that wasn't that part of the advertising campaign, and all the sponsors and all that stuff was being like, oh yeah, this is going to be like her whatever title, and
brutal. But the only bonus, I guess, is I read an article today. Apparently, Adidas are going to sign Naomi Osaka as their highest paid tennis player for $10 million a year.
Wow.
I'm like, you're fine, you're good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even care if I was you.
Robert, you're
maybe more.
my idea of the week. It's not sports related, but drug related. Oh,
What?
Boo. Okay. Bad as that. No. CEO of a pharmaceutical company. I'm so good
Easy
at
for you to say.
brilliant at words. Is facing criticism. After describing a 400% price increase for an antibiotic as a moral requirement.
What? What moral?
I'll say the quote. It's got what it says here. The CEO Nimral Mullier. I'm totally bastardizing that to pronounce that. I apologise. He says, "I think it's a moral requirement to make money when you can, to sell the product for the highest price." That is what he's getting quoted to say.
That's amazing.
So what was used to be sold as something called nitrofurantoin or something, used to be $470 a bottle, is now $2,390 a bottle.
What?
He's justifying saying that the only other choice in the market is at a higher price, so he's still the cheapest on the market. So he says he's done nothing wrong. If anything, he's been a bit of a mug for charging something cheaper. And this is a life-saving drug or antibiotic.
Oh my god!
And this is the same thing that happened where you had previously Martin Shkreli,
Yeah.
who also hiked up a similar life-saving drug 5,000% and gotten a lot of criticism for that.
Who pays for the drugs?
Well, if it's American, it's who needs the treatment.
Right. Okay, that's right then. Because I mean, obviously, over here, a lot of stuff where the government would pay for that and things like that. And obviously, it's kind of crap taxpayers' money, blah 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 blah. But you think about, I mean, that guy's probably going to back pocket that money, which is shite.
Yeah.
But if he could justify, say, look, this is the reason we're charging that. This is all then 99.9% of that money is going into research. And it's still affordable and still getting the people it can get to, then you can justify that. But you can't do any of that.
Yeah.
A moral requirement. I'm sorry. What morals have you got there?
The only moral is the bank account morals that he's thinking of. That's insane.
you know, I can understand a price increase. I understand trying to justify something like that. But again, 4,000%, so 400% increase is quite a dramatic change.
Yeah.
What's going on, and that's why he's my idiot of the week.
Yeah. What a cock.
So what was his name?
Insert name here. I've closed my phone. Hold on, I'll find it. He is Nirmal Mulye.
Right, that guy.
Sorry,
Or
I'm so
Serena
bad.
Williams, or the American Open, or the US Open
The
fan.
US Open crowd.
I think any Americans is our idiots of the week. too.
America is our idiot of the week.
Make America the idiot of the week again.
They're doing a fine job on their own.
We might actually, well, probably not, but we'll try and put that up on Twitter.
How many times have we said poll? This time it's a poll.
Pull.
And then they've been like, no, audience, hold us to this poll because we're gonna do it, and then
Yeah.
nothing happened.
And we'll look at the answers before we record the next one.
I'll be more amazed if we ever actually put a poll up. Just anywhere,
I'm
just
gonna
in
do
like a local community
I
centre.
think we did
I'm gonna do
like
it
2
anyway.
years ago.
Yeah.
And I think I won that. I think with the poll.
Oh yeah, because we did the title one, didn't we, for the Avengers movie?
Oh, I did that.
Yeah.
But there was one about some Nazi road or something.
Jesus.
Yeah. Aye, that was right enough. That was back in the head-to-head days.
Oh.
the pre Spotify days.
Yeah, is that Austin's nickname now? Spotify.
Spotify.
That's what they call me because I'm so streamy.
A Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves, or draws a
So we still might be wondering where Spider-Man is after he faded to dust in Avengers Infinity War.
He wasn't ready to go.
He wasn't ready to go. Done a Doctor Who. Spoilers, by the way, if you've not seen Infinity War yet.
If you've not
But-
seen it, like,
yeah,
you already
yeah.
know.
Yeah. However, he's not out of our lives if you want to pay 50 quid, because you can get Spider-Man the video game.
You can. Marvel
Supposedly,
Spider-Man.
now we'll get into details in a second,
Mhm.
but from the trailers and from what I've heard, supposedly Marvel's answer to the Arkham trilogy, or quadrilogy trilogy if you include the other one,
Yeah,
Origin. So
I would say so.
yeah, apparently they've taken a lot from that,
You can
inspired
see,
quite heavily
yeah.
by that. So yeah, so
So it's like-
Robert, I mean, you've not played it either. So before we get to the good stuff for somebody that has, what's your thoughts from the outside looking in?
it looks cool. I've got fond memories of Spider-Man on the PS2.
That was an
Yeah.
amazing game.
Spider-Man
Yeah.
2 is like one of the best games ever made.
And many sleepovers and etc. playing Spider-Man 2.
Who was
I-
the sleepovers with, can I ask?
I don't know, maybe some ginger person. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was there a long time ago. But some very fond memories about that. And looking at it, it looks like everything and more from that
It's
game.
one of the first open world games I played. That one.
Mhm.
Yeah, where you could just go around New York.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That was awesome. And you had to anyway.
And you could
So-
like swing, like you could nab them in nets and then whack them on the ground up and down
Or
like
like
a big arc.
web them to like traffic light posts and
Mm.
stuff. That was so cool.
So Austin, you've actually completed the game. You told us.
I have.
You've
Finished it
fired
yesterday.
through it. You binged it.
did.
How long's that
stayed
game
up
been out,
till-
Austin?
Less than a week.
How many hours did you put in it?
Way too many. Like for people who are listening to podcasts, I have a child, 7-month-old child, and one of the things they tell you when you have a kid is to get get sleep. You know,
Or not neglect your child in any shape or form.
I couldn't tell you his name. I think it's Boy.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Peter Parker. So I've been doing I think I stayed up to 3 a.m. like 3 nights in a row playing this game. It's not good for my health, but for my enjoyment,
Mm-hmm.
it was just fine. It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
So let's start with the gameplay. What's the gameplay sort of like?
So
I mean, it was sort of said about Arkham. How similar
Yeah.
is it to Arkham?
I think
or
it's
is it-
more accessible than Arkham, and
Right.
they've adapted the Arkham style to Spider-Man, so it's a lot more gymnastic and kind of acrobatic. Like you dodge under people through their legs and things like that. There's a lot more movement. Whereas in the Batman games, he's like a lumbering muscle machine where he'll just punch you with his elbow, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's a lot more creative. You can use the gadgets that Spider-Man has, and suit abilities come into it as well. Yeah, the gameplay and that is really good. the one thing that I would say is amazing, or my favorite thing, is the flow. Like when you get going and you figure out how to do the webbing and the swinging. Oh, you could go for days just swinging around. It is amazing. It's really forgiving. That's one thing I would say, is that like you'll jump off a building and like career to the street thinking, oh, I'm gonna do it just before, and like when you even when you swing and you're like, I would have hit the ground then, it kind of pulls you up for you,
Right.
to kind of keep that momentum going.
What happens if you don't?
You just hit the ground, and you'll be fine.
But all right, well, that's boring.
You're Spider-Man. It doesn't matter. Like, you're just incredibly strong.
I know. I was kind of hoping for like a splat.
Nah, you don't
And then, like,
splat.
the Grand
Sometimes
Theft Auto,
you'll
like the jump.
wasted. Sometimes you'll land and the ground will crack.
Oh, does he do like the superhero pose?
Superhero landing. He does
Yeah.
he does a Spider-Man where it's like his legs are like impossibly wide.
Is it one leg slightly to the
One
side?
slightly bent.
Yeah, the right
yeah,
way.
yeah.
Aye, one slightly bent, another one away, out straight to the
He
side.
does that, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, Peter,
Yeah.
always a show off. But yeah, the swinging around is amazing.
So how big is the map?
It's New York, fully done in wonderful detail, end to end. That island of New York, I
It's
guess.
pretty
Well,
mad.
which one?
Not the
will-
state.
Yeah,
It's all Manhattan, isn't it? It's
I'm
all-
fairly sure it is
one of them.
one of the islands of New York.
well, I'm assuming that he's
It's like we're
Spider-Man's main skill is to swing off skyscrapers. You need like some
No.
buildings to be able to do
yeah, he
that.
doesn't swing through the countryside often. Yeah, it's the kind of the one that you know Spider-Man to be associated with,
Right. Okay.
and that you've played in, countless games before. It's cool. There's some additions in there for you fans of Marvel movies. They'll get your little nerd antennas flaring up. I was giddy at some points. I was like, ooh. Yeah, and they've really built this world that hints at a bigger shared universe, which is really, really cool. Because this is for in my opinion anyway, and I'm assuming it will be, is like a stepping off point for Marvel to enter the realm of video games, because they've done this so well with the help of Insomniac, and they've hinted at so much more going on.
Okay.
And it's really cool, but without kind of being ramming it down your throat. Like, you kind of have to find the other stuff going on.
So when's the open world X-Men game coming out?
Well, I don't know.
You know, the thing everyone's asking for.
The game we want. I want to be Cyclops.
So what about the plot then? Let's so from what I've seen from storyline, the Sinister Six. So you're quite established. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think he's about 20. He's finished college. He has a job. That he works in.
Daily Bugle?
No, he's a scientist.
Right. So
at this point, he's
A lab assistant?
maybe
okay. So he's more established. He's got. I've seen from the trailer. He's got a lot of villains put away in prison.
Yes,
Spoiler from the trailer: they escape.
he's kind of his main, the classic Spider-Man villains. So like, Electro, Vulture, Rhino. They're kind of the main ones. There's a newer villain.
And Rhino's just Paul Giamatti in a suit. Yeah.
I would have loved that. Sadly, no. It is a humongous Russian man.
Amazing.
And he's probably one of my favorites in it. Because he's just exactly what I wanted, like an updated version of Rhino. Rhino's like easily my favorite cartoon villain because it's just a man in a grey suit with a butthole for a face.
Yeah.
Like, it's perfect. And they do the villains in this. They do a really good job. I would almost say though, like, it's kind of lackluster. In my opinion, like, I'm really apprehensive to say because I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay.
But like when they break out, that's a big moment, and then there really isn't much after that. So like, I really don't want to spoil it, but like it's tough.
Is it just like one big boss after and one big boss?
So like the boss battles in this game are few and far between.
Okay.
So like you'll maybe have one at the beginning, and then you won't have any for like an hour. But then when they break out, you fight them all once, and that's it.
Is there a lot of side missions?
Yeah, there's plenty to do. Like they have, again, it's like the Arkham games. You have like the Taskmaster challenges, which is the Riddler challenges. There's Black Cat challenges in it as well, which is cool.
There's a fake Spider-Man, just like there's a fake
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne.
yeah, it's all there.
Yeah.
And then you can do things like because of his photography background, he likes taking photos of landmarks, which is where you see some of the cooler places that they're hinting at are, there's a wider universe going on here.
Does it ever like? Is it do the whole? I don't know what you call it. Is it the whole Spider-Verse thing where there's multiple Spider-Mans?
So, and this isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailers, but Miles Morales is in this game.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But that's not multiverse.
But that's not the multiverse.
just-
No, that's another
that-
Spider.
Yeah, that's the next Spider-Man. It's something they could mess with at some point, I imagine, but
further down the line.
I think they're trying to keep this kind of accessible for now
Yeah.
in terms of like villains and gameplay.
If they can
and
stretch it out to a Spider-Man trilogy, that's maybe where you go for the third film.
I think you can
To kinda-
pretty much guarantee they're going to get 3 games out of this.
Aye.
Minimum.
Really?
Maybe they might do Venom right.
Well, yeah, and I mean, the one thing I will say on that is like, if you play it, treat it like any other Marvel movie and stay till after the credits.
Oh,
Oh,
spoilers.
it's going to be a symbiote.
Well, no, the thing is,
What's it called?
That's a bit of a spoiler.
no, but you'd need to see it to know that it isn't. If that makes any sense.
That's a spoiler.
They hint at more who the villain will be in the next game.
Right.
And
You just told us who it is.
the thing is, though, you'd have to see it to know that maybe I didn't.
Carnage.
Genuinely, though, the thing that they do with this game as well is they kind of play with origins for some of the villains, really, really cleverly,
Okay.
and that works. So that the timeline up to a point is really accurate in that the first villains he fights in the comics, I think, are the ones in jail. So like Electro and Vulture, Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones in the raft, and then the other ones in the game, because there's more than those villains. You know, they have a huge rogues gallery to pull from. Those ones' origins are tweaked slightly, but that really fit with this universe and this plot, and it's really, really, really well done.
My next question was going to be about, you kind of hinted at it there, but the main villain, or whoever's portrayed as the main villain, the guy, I can't remember his name.
Mr. Negative.
Yeah, Mr. Negative, that's it. What was he like?
He was cool. He's probably one of the better villains in it because his motivation was really kind of honed in on, and they gave him a lot of impetus into doing why he's doing what he's doing, but you don't find out until towards the end. You find out along with Spider-Man why he's doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really clever. It's really cool. Yeah, so he's a really good main villain.
And last question would be in terms of the in terms of Peter Parker himself, whilst he's Spider-Man. What comedy wise did you find yourself laughing along, or
Yeah.
is he cracking his wisecracker?
It's like everything you expect from the kind of the Peter Parker in the cartoons to the more recent movie. Not the one with Andrew Garfield. Those films are shit.
I still to see them. I'm not even.
You are absolutely fine.
That's one of some of the stuff which they got not brilliantly, but okay. It was whilst he was in the suit. Some
Yeah.
of the wisecracking sort of stuff was quite good, but I felt they took it to another level. And Tom Holland
Has just done
has just been
superb.
especially in the Avengers movie.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
the stuff like the wizards and that.
I was quite harsh on
yeah.
that movie when I first saw it, but I haven't watched it again a few times. It's probably one of the better ones Marvel have done.
Yeah.
I
In
really
terms
like
of like just really grounding a movie and a character, and that it doesn't have to end the world, but it can still be a really powerful story, and the villain can be totally selfish and just
Yeah.
want to make money.
And quickly on off topic, that's where they've kind of got to go now, because after Thanos, where do you go?
Yeah, like nothing.
You've kind of got to go back to your friendly
Yeah.
neighborhood sort of thing. You've kind of got to bring it back to
which
to
really
the
excites me
ground.
for the next movie because Mysterio
Yeah.
is the villain,
Mm.
and I love
Fish
Mysterio.
Head.
Yes, I really hope they do it. Classic big ass head,
Aye.
Jake Gyllenhaal in there.
Okay.
But yeah, Peter Parker in this game is fantastic.
Okay.
I think he does a really good job at playing the established Peter Parker, having the confidence. The relationships that he has in them as well are really interesting, really, really good. Being Peter Parker in this game is as enjoyable, give or take, as being Spider-Man.
Where are we with Mary Jane?
Oh, do you want me to tell you? She's had 7 kids.
I have seen parts where you have gameplay
As a certain
as some
Mary Jane Watson.
and that's a bit more in the sense of traditional kind of investigative stuff.
Yeah, so she's
Cool.
kind of like the more traditional stealth segments where you don't have superpowers and you have to avoid being shot in the head and punched.
Oh, that's clever. Yeah.
Because she'll die.
Yeah.
That plays really well. In terms of where they are in the universe, they're not a couple.
Right.
But you have hope for those crazy kids, and you hope it
You
works out
do,
in the end
yeah.
for them. We have spider babies.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
And there's a trilogy of movies, so probably going to be.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
So does that
plenty
mean
of
that-
movies come?
Does that mean that Gwen's died at this point? Then?
So this is the thing, and this is what I'm interested in, because they don't mention Gwen at all,
yeah.
and because of how well they played with Origin in this game, I wonder if they're yet to introduce Gwen,
Okay.
because they've mentioned that Black Cat is established,
Mm-hmm.
and he's had dealings with Black Cat, and I imagine the relationship he had with Black
Yeah.
Cat. But Gwen is not mentioned, and I'm like, I really hope they introduce Gwen in another game, because she's such a good character.
Yeah.
Spider Gwen.
Yeah. It's a tough school. Aye.
For some reason, everyone wants to see that. I'm like,
So it was-
I really don't care.
Okay, finally then, just finishing up,
Yes.
and then we've got one last topic to kind of do
Yeah.
after this. But so finishing up, how many WIs are you giving it
So out
out of
of
17?
the one thing I will just before I give it a rating is, if you like Spider-Man suits in games,
This is the game for you.
Mm.
like it's not great, but the ones they do, like the details pretty cool on them.
Aye.
There's maybe a couple you'll really get into and really like. I think I have 3 that I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my favorite.
Right.
I'm
But then,
saying that.
but then you've
there's
got to save
DLC
stuff. You've
and
got to save stuff for DLC
Yeah.
and for future games.
I know, but like I want a really cool one. And I'm not gonna say what's in it, because I want you guys to find that out on your own. Robert, you're gonna buy a PlayStation. for this, you told me.
I saw one of the suits which I thought was quite cool.
What one did you see?
I've seen a few, but I don't know which ones are like fan adapted. And
So
which ones are-
I've unlocked all bar one, because I've spent far too long playing this game.
The
What
one
one
I
did you
saw was in the Tom Holland
Yeah,
film.
so that's
which
in
is
it.
quite cool.
Yep. What one have you seen? What ones have you seen?
I've seen one that looks like Ghost Rider.
Yep, that's in it.
That's it. Okay, so how many
Spoilers for suits, guys. There's loads of
how-
suits.
How many WIs in it? 17.
Out of 17 WAIs, I will give this game probably like a solid 14. 14 and a half. 14.5 out of 17.
Cool.
It's a great game. It's kind of simple, but I think that really works for it. I'm really interested to see what they do in the next couple of games. Again, the reason that it's really good is because of the flow, and that picks up in the little tiny details that they do. And I'll talk about that really quickly. So, like, if you're swinging and you come across like a fireplace, he just scoots through it. Like, he just like sticks to the wall, pulls his web, and pulls himself through it. And it's little details like that that you're like, this game really doesn't want me to stop. And it's kind of awesome. And like, it's
Really
just
cool.
contextual things like that that happens in the game that I'm like, this is like really, really nice and satisfying. So yeah, 14 and a half. 15 out of 17.
What about it?
So we'll finish up with asking you guys what you've got, what you're up to in terms of video games and TV shows and all that sort of stuff in the next wee bit. So have a wee think about that now. But in terms of stealing content from other podcasts and stuff,
Excellent.
Coming up original
there's
stuff.
a podcast. I know you've started listening to, Austin,
Uh-huh.
Mr. Sunday Movies, or
No, I listen to
the
Mrs.
weekly-
Saturday
the
movies.
Weekly Planet, and on it, Mr. Sunday Movies runs the YouTube channel.
Oh.
Which may actually the Weekly Planet, doesn't matter. Anyway, whatever
Someone
it's
has a
called,
YouTube
whatever
channel.
it's called, go check it out. It's really good. It's like a even better version of this.
An even worse version.
But yeah, they done a video and the guy raised the point. Maybe they need some time away from the DC, the EU to kind of reset some stuff. So, in terms of filler, let's have some Batman. Why not have Michael Keaton come back and play Batman,
Yes.
an old Batman,
Yes.
Yes.
One-
and have
1000%.
him get a Terry,
Was it Terry Butcher? No,
Terry
Terry
McGinnis.
Butcher.
I think it's
Terry
Terry,
McGinnis,
Terry Chocolate Orange.
yes. Terry and
Uh,
the Chocolate Factory.
Terry McGinnis, and do Batman Beyond.
And
Yes.
1,000,000%. I want this movie more than any other
Yes.
DC movie.
Yeah.
I want this, and I want Red Sun. I want DC movies to go weird. I don't care about an extended universe. I've already seen one for 10 years. I don't want another one. I just want fun movies that are enjoyable to watch. And I think if Michael Keaton came back as Batman, I would pee my pants.
And it would be awesome if like he was like retired and he was retired and he was retired, and then like something happened. He was like, "Fuck it, I'm getting
Putting
suit on."
back the cape
And then
on.
you've got Batman Beyond and Batman
Yes.
both fighting. Oh,
So good. And I mean, Michael Keaton.
take all my money.
Yeah, I'll watch that movie. I have a card that means I go to the cinema for free. I'll still pay for a ticket if that's the movie. I don't want to see Ben Affleck anymore. I'm bored of him.
I wouldn't go that far. I think Ben Affleck is a really good Batman that was wasted.
It was a good Bruce Wayne. For me, I thought it was a good
great Bruce Wayne. Yeah, but was wasted. Anyway, well, that's a different point. So we'd all love to see that film.
Oh yes.
And think it would help. Give Warner Bros. Time to plan a DC extended universe,
Or just write that Flash movie.
And you know who I feel sorry for in this whole thing? Obviously, with Henry Cavill, we talked about earlier on, Henry Cavill leaving, Ben Affleck leaving, the DCU, Justice League not up there. I feel sorry for Gal Gadot and the Wonder Woman team.
They're fine.
Because they've put out a really good movie.
Yeah.
They've got apparently another good one coming out.
Yeah.
But then what?
I think
then they're going to hit the reset button, and
unless
she's
their
gone.
future plan is to build it around Wonder Woman.
But you can't bring in new... You just confuse audiences if you bring in a new Bruce Wayne.
No,
and
I
a
think
new...
what you do is you just kind of act like the audience is weird.
What you want to have?
What do you mean? It's always been Jake Gyllenhaal's Batman. You guys are the dumb ones. What's Ben Affleck?
What do you think they're going to do? Like Justin League?
Justin's League.
Justin's League. Justice League.
Justice League.
It's like about a little kid who wants to play baseball so bad.
You said Jake Gyllenhaal. That's in my head. I'm just like, oh.
Guys, I just want to play baseball. Justin, one day you will. In your own league. Justin's League.
But like, have it without Batman and Superman. That was the...
Maybe.
Like, that would be so weird.
I still think they would have Batman and Superman, but I think if they're going to do it, they'll just recast and be like,
Justice League with them made like what 300 million,
and cost about 600 million.
Justice League without them would make so much less.
Yeah,
they need.
There's no
to.
factor that people want to see that. I mean, the Wonder Woman movie doing so well was an anomaly. I'd be interested to see what happens with it at least.
I don't think it's an anomaly.
Well, no, because everyone was like, "Who's going to watch Wonder Woman?" But then because
A strong female lead superhero film that was actually good. The whole series or cinematic universe.
Even though she can't act.
no, I mean the Wonder Woman movie was amazing. And that's all I'll say on it, because this segment is already too long. We're talking about DC movies again.
So finish up then. What are you guys up to? What were any good video games you're playing or plan to play or start playing or?
I'm playing this game called Pornhub.
It's a really short game. No, what am I doing? I'm starting to play a little bit of Overwatch. I've not really sunk my teeth into it.
You're esports now.
Esports. Hey, I used to play Rocket League quite a lot.
They called him the deployer.
The deployer. But no, it's quite fun. That's something that I'm kind of.
Is that the FPS, like kind of Call of Duty? Not Call of Duty, like kind of. It's like everyone's balances out another player.
It's like Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, so everyone has like their counter card kind of thing. Like
they're all the different characters that do weird different things.
Yeah, like so if you're this one character, if I go this character, I'm better against you, but I'm not as good as.
Yeah, and they've all got certain like things that are like the abilities that bounce off each other. And
okay, cool.
It's quite cool. I don't know it all. It's just something I've been trying to play in the last week.
Enjoying it?
Yeah, it's quite fun. I think you just need the right kind of people to play with, I think.
Yeah.
Or trying to learn a game, so...
I think it's refreshing to see a first-person shooter be so colourful. Like, and not just be kind of like cinematic World War II, grainy, the war is eating us kind of thing.
And Blizzard's really good in terms of building that universe around their games and stuff as well. So all the like cinematic stuff to explain these characters that are, all that kind of stuff is brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other things I'd like to give a shout out... Lamplight City's just been released, which is a detective kind of adventure game thing. Ooh. Which is same kind of vein as kind of if you think of Elio Noir.
Yes.
But you can get the cases wrong, and it continues the story.
Oh.
And all that kind of stuff. So I want to try and give that a shout.
I like a game that kind of just, even if you mess up, carries on with you
Yeah.
anyway, and it kind of goes, well, that was your mistake.
And from what I understand, is like, oh, you know, you're in a little town and stuff like that. You'll be running into the same people. So if you pissed off someone by accusing their brother as some murderer or something like that, and they weren't, it kind of affects you getting information later on.
And it's not in that kind of Telltale games where it just corrects itself.
Yeah,
like,
or it's just like, oh, I'll remember this, but it's not really.
But
important.
for no reason, you know.
Yeah. But again, I don't know. That just came out. I think today.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Time of recording.
Hot press.
But yeah, that's my things I'll be doing.
Sweet.
Austin, what are you up to?
So, having a 7-month-old, I don't really get to do much anymore. You know, I live a sad, sheltered life.
You just completed Spider-Man
in under a week.
So I'm guessing you're taking a step away from video games.
I'm going to take a step. I was thinking of replaying God of War again, which was...
So you're not taking a step away from video games?
But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to rewatch all 2 series of Queer Eye. Which is the best show on Netflix right now. If no one's watched Queer Eye, if you're listening and you haven't watched Queer Eye, watch Queer Eye. It is so good. It's warm, it's loving, it's
you ever tempted to try and dig out the old one?
Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. So I watched the British one, like when it came out, like 2002 or 2003, and I'm absolutely fine not watching that again. This one I like it because it's kind of like it's got a political angle.
Yeah, it's in a more modern, accepting world.
Yeah, and it's kind of and it's kind of addressing issues around, you know, homosexuality and race is another huge one as well. There's a lot of issues around kind of, you know, the horrible things that are happening to young black men and women in America. It's really the way they address it. I have to hold my hands up and say it's really clever because seems organic anyway. Yeah, watch Queer Eye if you haven't, or The Crown.
Oh yeah, we're not going into The Crown again. My only plans is, I intend to try and get through. I've put this a while ago and I've got around to reading it. The Legends of Luke Skywalker. I don't know if it's loads of mini stories or
is it canon?
What's canon anymore anyway? Like,
I don't know.
I don't think Disney know what canon is anymore.
I mean, it's got Disney and Lucasfilms. It was released in 2017, so probably is canon. Yeah.
But then next year they'll be like, no, it's not canon.
So yeah, I intend to fire through that. It's quite big text, which I like. It's only about 300 odd pages, so I'm going to fire through that. So hopefully next podcast we can kick off here and a bit more about Overwatch, plus what was it?
Lamplight City?
Yeah, Lamplight City. Yeah.
We'll hear a bit more about that.
I'll be dressed really trendy.
We'll hear a lot about how Queer Eye was for a second time.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you all about
Skywalker in space.
This is going to be a Star Wars 4.
The Legends of Luke Skywalker. So,
but yeah, tell us what you guys are up to. What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you playing?
What should we?
If you're watching us on YouTube, comment below. If not, just like
that's not for you. That comment's not for you if you're not watching it on YouTube. Just breeze past it.
Other than that, just spam us on Facebook or Twitter.
And no matter what platform you're listening on, don't forget to hit that like button.
Yeah.
Unless you don't have a like button, then subscribe.
Hit the love button.
Tell your friends to listen to What About It, available on...
We spent so much time practicing the beginning of our new podcast. We don't quite know how to end it. It's like a 12-inch from the 80s. Just going to keep going and going until we suddenly fade out and then podcast.
No, we can't end it.
So make sure you subscribe on YouTube and search for us on the social medias at What About It Show on Twitter and Facebook. Austin, where can people find you?
I'm on the Twitters. You can find me at HawYouCen, which is a Scottish play on the Street Fighter.
And how do people spell that?
HAWYOUKEN.
Right, Robert.
Yeah, find me on Twitter and stuff. As Octarob.
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 Fair enough.
And on Tinder.
Just search for me at Gav CW90.
Thanks so much for listening.
Yeah, cheers folks. Cheers. And we'll see you next time. Although we won't see you. I do this every time.
Bye!
Bye!
Bye.